Hello everyone, my name is Zach Lawson, and this is the first video in learning to live stream. So, what we're going to be talking about is an overview of the first lesson, and it's going to be talking about live streaming and why it matters to us. Specific topics answered in this slideshow presentation will be 1. What is live streaming? 2. Why does live streaming matter? And 3. How live streaming can be used at Project Dragonfly and what it means to us. So, to get right into it, what is live streaming? Live streaming is similar to a television broadcast in that it's a live broadcasted video that you can find online on the internet via social media platforms. Chances are you may have seen one of these live streams before on places like Facebook or YouTube. For this course, we'll be talking about streaming from YouTube Live, but you can certainly stream on other platforms if you wish. The only real difference from a televised broadcast is that the audience can ask and interact with each other, or they can ask questions and interact with each other live during the broadcast. So that means that you can field Q&A after your lesson or during. Say you're giving a prospective student talk, you can answer their questions on the fly, or if you're in a tutoring session, you can address a certain question before you lose the students, which can be very handy. Another interesting piece about this is that it is shown and recorded at the same time by the social media platform. So that tutoring video that you just live streamed now becomes a video that you can share with your students later, should you wish. So essentially, here's a diagram of the entire process. So you start with you, the presenter, streaming to a social media platform, which all of your viewers, aka your students, can tune into. And so, here's an example of a couple of live streams that I took from the internet. This educational live stream shows a camera feed of a woman, on a whiteboard, showing her students, basic English concepts. And on the other hand, we have our very own Project Dragonfly advising webinar. And so, we ran this in January of 2020 last year. And it was for prospective students who wanted advice about the GFP. So if you guys wanted to run something like that for your AIP programs or just for prospective students in general, this is definitely a viable option that we have used in the past. Moving on to the next question, why does live streaming matter? Well, there's a lot of reasons why it matters. It provides a convenient way to deliver educational content and has numerous educational benefits. To start things off, it's highly accessible. It can be accessed from anywhere with a stable internet connection, of course, which reduces geographic barriers. It reduces the cost to access the content. So that would mean it's obviously free to do this, and it's easy to do, and no one has to drive anywhere. It cuts down on commute time, and it's relatively simple to set up. So it's really a cheap way to create educational content. It also has voice-to-text accessibility. As we'll talk about later on in YouTube Live, it will auto-caption your courses for you, which may be helpful to those of you with students with hearing disabilities, and it's just general all around. It also has trackable metrics for your educational benefits. So you can track watch time and interactions on your stream as it's happening. That way you can know if you're playing to an empty room or if people are sitting in the live stream and, watching the whole thing. You can kind of gauge how well people are receiving it. Just kind of handy things. It's nice to have. Moving on to how can live streaming be used at Dragonfly. I came up with a couple of test scenarios that I think would be useful for you guys should you want to use it. I can envision it as a new medium to teach students. As we saw earlier with the lady teaching the English with the whiteboard, it can be very similar to a recorded lecture that you can handle Q&A from. So it's like a recorded lecture that's highly accessible and largely interactive. And so you really run the low risk of losing anyone in the broadcast if you're able to field those questions as they come in and there's high participation. So this could be really useful for tutoring sessions. I know a lot of you have identified that statistics is a class where people need extra help in. I can really envision a statistics class, running a tutoring session over a live stream with a teacher on a whiteboard. I think that things like that could be very useful in our organization. And that's not to mention, it's also a convenient way to hold those info sessions we have every year. 2020 has really brought up a new normal for how we handle things, and a lot of people are looking more and more to events online, and people are more comfortable with that kind of thing. And I know that our info sessions were always in person, and always at a certain time, and I think that maybe holding those info sessions for these prospective students may make an easier way for the event to be ran. It would be easier to accommodate set schedules. Webinar recordings could be shown afterward, like what I showed previously of our webinar, so that students who miss out on the session can still hop in and see what was all was said. And this also reduces the cost. I know many of you buy food for these events and have to rent out a space. This would be a low-cost, easy way to set up info sessions for a lot of people. And those are just two examples. But as you guys can hopefully see, there's a lot of potential here in more than just these two ideas. At Project Dragonfly, we have already live streamed guest speakers, classes for students who are off campus and things of that nature. So really, if you guys have an idea in mind, my goal by the end of this course is to teach you how to achieve that goal. And hopefully we can get there. But for now, that's all for this unit. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.